Have you ever felt like the more emotionally aware you are, the more distant you feel from others? Like you can read the room too well, sense the tension no one speaks about, feel others' emotions, even when they deny them? If so, you're not overly sensitive. You're emotionally intelligent. And in a world that avoids feelings, that can be a heavy burden. Emotional intelligence isn't just the ability to recognize feelings. It's the capacity to understand, manage, and even hold the emotions of others. But here's the paradox. The more emotionally intelligent you are, the more invisible your effort becomes. You de-escalate conflict before it erupts. You forgive things that were never acknowledged. You say what others need to hear, not what they want to hear. And that makes people uncomfortable. Because emotional intelligence reflects something deeper. It holds up a mirror to the emotional immaturity of others. Psychologists call this empathic dissonance, where emotionally aware individuals are subtly rejected because they disturb the emotional equilibrium of a group. You feel the undercurrents. You sense what's unsaid. You notice the mask people wear, and they notice that you notice. And that's when the distance begins. In schools, workplaces, and even families, we're rewarded for performance, not presence. Loud confidence is praised. Quiet understanding is overlooked. An emotionally intelligent person might pause, reflect, consider both sides. But the world often rewards the first person to speak, not the wisest voice in the room. Why? Because emotional intelligence requires discomfort. It asks us to be vulnerable, to reflect, to own our patterns. And most people would rather be right than self-aware. That's why emotionally intelligent people are labeled as too sensitive, when in reality, they're often just too conscious. Emotionally intelligent people carry a weight that others can't see. They regulate everyone else's emotions, but often have no space for their own. They are the peacemakers, the listeners, the therapists in their circles. But who do they go to when they're overwhelmed? In a group, their calm presence is taken for granted. Their silence is misread as weakness. Their kindness mistaken for naivety, and so they withdraw. Not because they dislike people, but because they feel too much of what people refuse to feel themselves. But here's the truth. Being emotionally intelligent in a reactive world is not a weakness. It's a form of quiet leadership. You may not always be seen, you may not always be understood, but you see others in ways they can't even see themselves. So if you've ever felt like you're too much for this world, or like no one understands the depth of your feeling, remember, you're not broken. You're just ahead of the emotional curve. And while emotional intelligence may isolate you from the crowd, it connects you more deeply to what it means to be human.